Right then guys, well thank you very much for coming today. Hope you had a bit of time in the water. I know it's not the windiest day of the year, I'm afraid. Couldn't organise that, I did try. But at least you got out and had a go on some of the stuff and tried some different boards and sails all the way up and down the beach and had a bit of fun. Basically what I was going to do, I was just going to give you a little brief rundown through our board ranges, Mistral and Fanatic, and then we'll go and have a look at some of the North Sails as well. I know some of you might not be interested in some of the stuff I've got to talk about, so the best thing to do is if I start having, I'll have a little run through it just to give you a bit of an idea about the ranges, and then you guys, afterwards you just literally throw a load of questions at me. Anything you're thinking about, whether it be board trimming, setting stuff up, you know, boards for you, the conditions, whatever it may be, anything you got to think about, or anything I've done that you probably maybe read or seen a few pictures about what I've done in the past. If you've got any interest in anything you want to know about that, then fire away. Actually, I haven't got all the boards here, sadly, because some of them are still out in the water. I've got a few brochures if any of you want to have a look through a few. If you guys want to grab a brochure or pass them around, then if you do, get a buy there. They're $4.99 each.
I'll have 3, please.
No, that's a waste of money.
Get this one, Mark.
Stop slobbering over my board, right?
Right. Yeah. We'll go through Fanatic. Basically, we've got a beginner board. If there's any of you that are still learning, or maybe your wives, girlfriends, kids. My kid, as you see, of his little kid sail there, he's 3.5. Made him out the weekend on the Viper. Padded deck, obviously deck board, very stable, easy to use. You can fall and jump around it without getting yourself all scratched up on your knees. So obviously that's a great board, dragging it up and down the beach. It's quite heavy, and normally people are learning and not carrying them around too nicely. That's where we start. So we've got the beginner board. We have a kids board called the Ripper, which I don't have here. My son's got at home. Similar thing to the Viper, a little bit smaller without an actual retractable dagger board. It has a fin that you can slot in or take out in the centre of the board as well, obviously at the back when they improve. We have a slalom range called the Falcon, which actually is what Matt and my brother use. They'll be using in the UKWA slalom series in the PWA. That comes in various sizes all the way down to the speed boards. Obviously the highest performance performing build technology that they use in any of the liners, obviously on our race boards. We go down to the Ray, which is around somewhere. We've got a Ray 125 here. A couple of you guys have had a go on it. You know, sadly it's not quite windy enough, but that's a slightly detuned, or more, should I say, an easier board to sail than our full-on slalom Falcon range. So it's still got a huge amount of potential for speed, but you know, high performance, fast jibing, good control, early planing. It's still quite a performing board. You know, ideally on something like on that style of board, you want at least a 2 or 3 cam sail realistically. We go down to the Shark once again. So all the big boards are out in the water, or down, at least down on the beach. The Shark is our early entry free ride board. We have in 3 different sizes, 2 different constructions, a limited and a normal construction. A few people I think have been out on. We got a Shark 145 down there. Once again, a very easy board to use. Very forgiving in the jibing. They're designed for people to learn getting planing, learning your foot straps, harness, all the way on to progressing to carve jibing, and that type of performance sailing in. And also rig-wise, you can use it anywhere from our natural, which is our sort of early entry free ride sail, all the way to 3 cam, a more performance race type sail, if you like, something like the Shark. To match along with the Shark, I mean, I could actually do the Mistral and Fanatic at the same time. But to go along with the Shark range, we have the Mistral Energy, which is our early entry free ride boards. Once again, down the beach. That comes in 3 sizes, very similar to what the Shark does, and in 2 constructions. The RD, which is our lighter construction, and non-RD. We then go down from the Shark, we go down to the Eagle, once again, everything's down the beach. We've got the 3 different sides of the Eagle. We've got limited version as well, 126, 113 and 100. Similar to our Eagle is actually our synchro range, because we have the 3 different sizes of the synchro range. Quite a fast performing freeride board, but geared more towards manoeuvres. Where you look at the difference between an Eagle and a Hawk, for instance, or the Mistral Screamer range compared to our synchro, the Hawk is faster, more towards slalom, jibey type of manoeuvres, and it's a bit narrower, whereas the Eagle is a little bit more forgiving in the turns. A little bit along the lines, our synchro is sort of fast, but it's a little bit more forgiving, more manoeuvre orientated compared to the Mistral Screamer, which is more blasting backwards and forwards, not such a radical sort of jibing, or more performance jibing board compared to a synchro. Then we go down from the Hawk, the Skate, which is our freestyle board. Obviously for you freestyle gurus out there, and we've got lads over there that will be the freestyle kings for the future. We've got the Skate, which we've got a couple of different sizes. As you know, we've got our team riders, Guito, who's 2-time world champion, who rides the Skate. Razinho now, who's moved over to Fanatic, he's riding on the Skate. He's he's been second twice and first once, and he's only 19. So these guys are pretty hot in the freestyle. Once again, they come in 2 different constructions. Another area, quite an interesting area of the ranges, is the Free Wave, the Fanatic Free Wave here. Similar to the Free Wave in the Mistral range is our Style range. These are geared to, These are geared more towards obviously ocean, bump and jump, jumping, very, very manoeuvrable, good for jibing, duck jibing, jumping a little bit, as I said, early entry freestyle type manoeuvres. You can sail them on lakes and flat water, certainly if it's obviously windier. Compared to the Free Wave, the Style I'd say is probably a little bit more wave orientated. The Free Wave is obviously still good in the waves, but more blasting orientated. They come in offshore, which a lot of people aren't sure about, but they work very well in onshore. They're very, very loose. What else do they do? They've got very good control. The board sits in the water a little bit more than what it does with a single fin. So the board doesn't sort of fly and lift so easily. It's down the line wave riding, they just turn much tighter. You can get more turns on a wave than what you can on a single fin, which for European sort of conditions, where the waves are quite slow, quite sloppy, the twin fin works very, very well in those type of conditions. The Mistral, we have the twin fin range and the Wave RD range.
This will be on YouTube next week, so. Where are you from?
Bolton, thank you very much.
Where do you sail?
West Kirby.
Place.
Oh, cool. Rad.